Was Dion's first season a success or a failure? Grab your stick, grab your drink. Let's get into this right now. Yeah. It's your boy JD, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Come on and join in. Ha. What up? It's your boy JB coming at you live and direct, and you know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff, man. Y'all can find me on Instagram at the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Facebook at Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. And of course, you're on YouTube, man. So do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications so you get an alert every time we drop one of these videos, man. And y'all know whenever I do a topic like this, who I got to bring in with me. Because y'all know we did a preview podcast on this Deion Sanders, the new MLK. So now we done fast forwarded it a little bit. And we got to ask, was this thing a success or failure? So I had to bring my people back so we can do a recap on what we saw and how we saw it as a success or a failure, man. And of course, we got the number one Dion hater in the building. I'm going to let him introduce himself, tell him what he's smoking on, what he's drinking on, and where you can find him on the socials.
Hold up. I ain't never said I was a Dion hater. I'm a big supporter of Dion. I said that in the last podcast. But it's your boy, TL Clayton. You can always find me on Instagram at TL Clayton1. I'm on Patreon, The Joke I Didn't Tell. I'm smoking the Romeo and Juliet stick tonight, just my go-to. And I'm drinking a Stella Rose, just a little wine. This is Stella Rose Black. So, that's why I'm
not the yellow. Not the yellow. You back? Okay. All right. TLC is in the building. Y'all know, man. We got to show them a little bit of love if my stuff gonna work. But you know, sorry about that, TLC. My media ain't trying to work right now. My media ain't trying to work. It's getting a little ghetto. It's getting a little ghetto out here, y'all. I apologize. My soundboard ain't working. It worked for my intro, TLC. For some reason, it don't want to work for you. Man, y'all know, man, who we got next, man. My A1 from day one, man. I got to let her introduce herself. Tell y'all what she's sipping on, man, and where y'all can find her on the socials.
Thanks, JB, for having me on. What's up, Torrance? It's your girl, Rhonda. You can find me on IG at RMBLMBT. I'm keeping it simple tonight. I may bring something new on the next call. So I'm going to keep it the same. And I'm drinking my, on the rocks.
That spicy pineapple margarita.
Yeah, margarita.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I couldn't do what I wanted. I couldn't do what I wanted to do since I was having technical difficulties.
Y'all know y'all got to love it now. Rhonda hit me up today. Hey, JV, is this good enough for the podcast tonight? I appreciate when people hit me in the middle of the day, making sure they bringing something nice for the podcast. So y'all know y'all gonna see it in the future now. Rhonda keep her spirit game up when it comes to the podcast. Let's see, Rhonda. Let's see what we got. Oh damn! For some reason, it went out.
Right.
How that happen?
I don't know.
How did that happen? Yeah. That is crazy. All right, guys, we having a little technical difficulties. It's all good, though. All right, no problem. Ron, appreciate you being on, man. And y'all know I'm smoking on my Macanudo Inspirado Red Toro. And, of course, man, flying the merch. Smoke something, drink something, pint glass, Grey Goose, and lemonade. I went with the vodka tonight. I had to get the Grey Goose and lemonade, just because I knew where we were going with this thing tonight. I said, let me go ahead and bring my vodka out tonight, cause I don't want that bourbon to hit me. And I let TLC get a couple blows, body blows in, and I don't recover. So I'm taking it light tonight, drinking my vodka lemonade.
Don't blame it on the drink.
I got my vodka lemonade, and I got Publix lemonade for everybody. It was either Simply Lemonade or Publix lemonade. If Dion was going to the college football playoffs or a New Year's Day bowl, I would have bought me some Simply lemonade. But tonight, I'm going to just drink the Publix lemonade, man. So y'all know we about to get into this thing, TLC. When you got the topic, let's start with you, brother, because you're looking pretty prophetic. If I go back to the, is Deion Sanders the new
Was Dion a success or a failure? It all depends, because Dion is a man who's always wore multiple hats. He did the football and baseball thing when he was an active player, and he's still wearing multiple hats when you think about it. On one hand, he's a coach of Colorado, but on the other hand, he's also an ambassador for all of college football. Now, as far as being the ambassador for college football, I think he's doing an amazing job. He's doing a great job there. He's really showing people some of the problems that college football has, but he's also promoting college football overall. So as an ambassador, he's doing an amazing job. As a coach, not so much. But the reason why I say that is because Dion himself said he holds himself at a higher standard with everything he does in life. So you can't tell me that you hold yourself at a higher standard and then be upset when I judge you based on the standards that you imposed on yourself. So having a 4-game winning streak doesn't make you a higher standard as far as like a coach. So to that, I'm going to say no, but that's because it's Dion's standard, my opinion.
Okay, so you said it was a failure because it's based on Dion's standard. It's a failure.
Absolutely.
Okay, hey, I like that. I can respect that. And y'all know I'm a Dion fan, so I can respect that. No shade here. No shade here. Rhonda, when you got the podcast topic, what were you thinking?
Listen, I've been rocking with Dion ever since he been doing what he been doing. So it's a whole 1,000% success for me.
Wow.
Only because if you go from 1 to 11 to winning 4 or 5 games, however many they won, that right there lets you know that he has already excelled for that particular program. Now, if he was coming to a winning team and that was that, then I'd be like, oh yeah, no, that was definitely a failure. But I believe in my heart that if Dion, I believe in my heart that if Dion was to quote Nelson Mandela, he would say the quote of, I never lose. I never fail. I either learn or something. That's so bad. I can't even remember the doggone quote. But it's like, I never lose. I either learn. Anyway, something like that.
I think it's I either win or I learn from it or something like that.
I either win or I learn. Yes. Yes. So I would, my drink already kicking in. But that's what I think. He would take that attitude like, yeah, no, he didn't lose. And if it was anybody that left or didn't want to be there, they weren't supposed to be there anyway. Back to you, JB.
Man, hey, look, Rhonda. Now I appreciate that. I appreciate that perspective, and y'all know I'm gonna do a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of nitpicking here. The title was Dion's first season a success or a failure, right? It was Colorado Buffalo's first season a success or failure. See, y'all got to understand y'all ain't gonna hear me talk about Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado Buffaloes still got a long way to go. That's why you got people leaving left and right. Colorado Buffaloes suck, right? But now the question is, was Dion a success or a failure?
He was a success.
Man, look, hands down. Who was on Good Morning America this morning?
I missed it. He was?
Dion on Good Morning America this morning. Okay. Out of all the 4 teams that got into the college football playoff, Florida, they wasn't on Good Morning America. Nick Saban wasn't up there. Jim Harbaugh wasn't up there.
And the other two,
the guy from Washington, Washington and Sarkisian was not up there. They up there asking Dion about the college football playoff. And TLC, it was wildly successful because even in losing, this man had you want to stay up and watch a 10 o'clock game on Saturday night.
2 a.m.
Even when losing. Yes. You up 3 o'clock. You up at 3 o'clock like, man, close this thing out so I can go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
We up in here watching Dion like we in the club. This man had us glued from the beginning to the end, TLC.
Mm-hmm.
It was a wildly successful season. And I'm going to tell you what else. Colorado Buffaloes did not have a good season. 4-8 ain't good enough. Let's be honest. If I said Colorado Buffaloes, that's a different story. But how do I know Dion had a successful season? People leaving. People leaving, right? Because now he having a different conversation. All right, this year Okay, now I know the adjustments I got to make. I ain't gonna carry y'all no more. I ain't gonna be your crutch no more.
TLC, you
I
okay?
ain't gonna be your TLC. Jump in that TLC. I want to see this. How am I missing it? How am I missing it?
Dion knows the adjustments he needs to make. He had like a 20-point halftime lead in one game.
But are you
And
talking?
they ended
Are
up
you talking about the
losing.
Colorado Buffaloes? Or we talking about Dion?
Yes.
You
See,
can't separate.
don't
You can't
confuse it.
separate.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
just
separate
did.
the can't. You can't separate the captain
Are
from
the
the still.
Colorado
When the
Buffaloes on the
captain's
Aflac
still on it,
commercial or Dion on the Aflac commercial? Come on now.
that's part of my problem, though. That's part of my problem with Dion. I'm gonna go and say he's exciting, he's entertaining, but that actually takes away from the program
Well,
itself.
you about to make Rhonda come through that camp. You
Hey,
about to make Rhonda come through that camera.
I know a lot of people upset, but guess what? That's part of his program. When you look at the successful coaches, just go look at any time after a game, like Nick Saban. They're like, man, you won the game. He's like, well, our defense didn't play well, and we made a lot of mistakes. He looks like he didn't even win. They're like, man, why are you so hard? You actually won the game, dude. But Dion, he can't wait for the attention. That's part of his problem. That's why people are leaving his program. Because they're like, I got to get away from this cat. Yes. Yes.
TLC.
You can't be
The
flashy
people
when
who
you losing.
let me tell you where Dion failed
I
at.
forgot
You
I'm
can be
talking
flashy,
to a
TLC.
Cowboys fan. So I
Yes, you are.
I
Yes, you are.
understand why you would think that.
Jerry Jones, the most successful owner. It don't matter about no Super Bowl, bruh. Don't matter
That's
about no
different
Super
because we're talking
Bowl.
about professionals, but you know.
But TLC, TLC, I'm respecting what you're bringing up, and then I want Rhonda to jump in there. Dion doesn't have to be like Nick Saban. If
That's
you
correct.
watch GMA, what did he say? Nick Saban, my mentor, he said every time I'm shooting a commercial with him, I'm just firing off questions at him in between sets, trying to make sure I get as much information from him as I can, TLC. So what happened is Nick Saban has to do that, but Dion is operating differently, TLC. Dion is operating differently, right?
I'll let Rhonda chime in, but I got
Yeah,
something to say there.
because we going there. We going there now.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you were coming. I hacked into your phone. I know where you coming. I haven't seen your notes. Go ahead, Ron.
Look, no. Listen, I can't say anything bad about him. I love how he does not dim his light so that other people could shine. He makes you rise up to the occasion. If you can't rise up, you just can't go. And Jeff, I think you made a good point about we're not talking about the Buffaloes. We're talking about Dion. And for some reason, no matter what he does, he's gonna make it to where he is still gonna be all right. Right now, whether that's because he's saying God got him or what have you, but he always gonna make a way to be like, oh yeah, I'm still Dion, baby. Like this is what you want, this is where you want to be. If you can't hack it, then don't come my way. And that in and of itself is what makes him successful because he know he is the best to do it. But it's also humble enough to know that Nick Saban can give him something that he may need to know.
Right, and that's a good point, right? That's a good point. The man is still the most relevant man in football right now. And as a college, nobody cares. Nobody's talking about Florida State. Why? Because at the end of the day, let's talk about Dion. Because what's brilliant about Dion? What's brilliant about Dion? From in a sense, and I know y'all gonna get mad when I bring this up, but I'm gonna bring it up. The one thing Dion does, why was he on GMA? Because he said, I'm recruiting. He said parents are watching GMA. CTLC, you got to realize now, Dion knows he's not recruiting the player, he's recruiting the parent.
Absolutely.
He's recruiting the parent. He's smart enough to know that. Okay? The parents up watching GMA. Dion is always on Twitter, always on Instagram, always being relevant, TLC. He's consuming. He's just like Trump in a sense that uses that media for his benefit, where every time you look on the news, if it's politics, who they talking about? Dion is the same way in sports. And what we got to talk about is it's a success. The level at which people are talking about him has not dropped since he got off that plane in Boulder. Jump in that TLC. Let me know what you think.
So what you're talking about, again, I was talking about Dion the coach and Dion the ambassador. He is an ambassador for college football. And so, of course, they're bringing him on all these TV shows. But that's because
who said he was an ambassador for college football?
Because that's what he's promoting. Wait, I'm gonna make a point here now. You gonna like where I'm going this. He is using GMA to promote and to recruit players. That part's true. But it's actually a double-edged sword because the media is using Dion and they've used him all year. at the beginning of the year, there's not a whole lot to talk about. You can't talk about the season Alabama's having every year at the beginning of the season, or Georgia. So that's why they focused on Dion, because it was a news story. It was fresh. Everybody could talk about Dion. It's an easy job for the journalists to cover Dion at the beginning of the season. All of a sudden, he starts losing. You saw it started fading away a little bit. But guess what? What just happened? They had this big blow up with the college playoffs and everything. None of the coaches want to be on TV. So who they go get? Oh, we can just go talk to Dion. And who comes running? Dion. They're actually, the media is using Dion.
I think you processing that all wrong. I think you processing that all wrong.
No, but I think you know I'm right.
No, TLC.
They are using Dion. And guess what? When the playoffs come up, Dion's going to get pushed aside, and then that's when they're going to bring all the coaches in there.
Dion is going to be at every game on the pregame. They're going to be asking him his analysis.
He ain't going to be the one holding the trophies, though.
It don't matter.
Yes,
these kids want to get to the NFL. These kids want exposure. What other team got more exposure than Colorado this year?
None other team got exposure that Colorado got. But when it comes to getting people into the pros,
he gonna get people into the pros. TLC, he gonna get them into the pros. You don't think Xavier Weaver gonna get? You don't think number 10 gonna get?
You don't think
he was up for the Biletnikoff Award? Absolutely, but
TLC,
we talking 1 year versus Colorado ain't been relevant since the 90s. So now we talking 1 year. Got a guy, Xavier Weaver. Xavier Weaver was up for the Biletnikoff Award. Let's be honest, if Travis Hunter wouldn't have got hurt, he was up. He was up for Heisman.
Like you said, we're not talking about Travis Hunter. We talking
about
Dion.
I agree. I'm coming back to Dion. See, now you want to come back. I was eating your lunch. Now you want to come back. Why am I saying this to y'all? I'm a Dion fan. Mm-hmm. I'm a Dion fan. But I watched. The only thing that happened when he started losing was that the pregame shows stopped showing up. But let's not forget how Big Noon Kickoff was there 2 weekends in a row. They just didn't leave Boulder. They ain't never seen anything like this, right? Now, the question is was Dion's first season a success or a failure? Mm-hmm. And the reason why I'm telling you, there's two people who were successful. Dion and Dion's son, Dion Jr. Did y'all watch USA Today that said what Deion Sanders Jr. is doing for social media and college football? People are calling this man up to talk about, hey, look, show us how you doing that so we can be relevant on social media. There's no such thing as trying to build a program anymore. You got to become relevant right now. We ain't giving you 3 years. You got to be relevant right now, TLC. Now, the Colorado Buffaloes, the players, I'm going there. And a lot of people ain't gonna like when I say this, and I want Rounder's opinion in TLC. I want you to jump back in there. The players didn't match Dion. The coaches didn't match Dion. And ain't nothing worse. When you bring things to a certain level and you look up into people behind you or below you, can't match you. That's why they leaving. Because guess what? What did Dion say after they beat TCU? I'm going to see if Rhonda can remember this, then I'm going to let her jump in there. He said, do you believe now? Mm-hmm. Do you believe? Who's the first one wearing I ain't hard to find and I believe? Who was the first one? See, some of y'all just got it on your shirt. Some of y'all just got it on your backpack. And here's what happens if you believe yet have not seen.
Oh, Lord.
All right. See, here's the deal. If you start believing it after you see it, you can't appreciate it. What did you say, Rhonda? What you see ain't what you saw. And a lot of people weren't prepared when he did exactly what he did. So was this thing a success? I bought you the attention. It's up to you to perform on the field. You got to prepare. Because guess what the difference with Dion is? And Rhonda, jump in there. The difference with Dion is when we watched Dion growing up, Dion talked it and he walked it. Yeah. None of his players, when that attention started showing up, the players were not ready because they did not. The coaches were not ready because they did not believe. Jump in there, Rhonda, because when Dion see this, he going to call me up, want to meet with me. Go ahead, Rhonda, jump in.
You mean us.
We're going to block TLC out, Rhonda. We're going to block TLC out. Yeah.
No, look, for me, I didn't care whether or not the Buffaloes had a winning season or not, but I did want Dion and the team to at least have 2 wins for the season because that meant at least he doubled what they did the previous year from a program that had been struggling. And that's why I truly believe he's not rebuilding a team. He's building a team. There was nothing there to begin with. Like, it's like Nick Saban, he rebuilds whenever he has to when his players get to the draft. And that's rebuilding. Dawn Staley rebuilds with her basketball team. Like that's just what it is. He is bringing something from nothing. And that's what I could appreciate about what he does in all the bigness of his personality and bigness of his confidence. And some people can't handle that. And I'm like, I'm here for all of it because he made everybody switch up how they played them. He made everybody had to change how they were going to approach them. Some hid and then waited to game day to talk their stuff. And then others didn't know what to do. But it was just that factor of he coming. He coming.
He doing what, Ron?
He coming. And so, yeah, I think he changed up. I know people who won't even thinking about college football, who has started watching college football because this man and his team was on. And ain't gonna front, watching Travis Hunter play it was so fun to watch him play. Both sides of the ball, you're not gonna have that on every team in college football, let alone anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Back to high school and middle school. He took us back to high school and middle school. He had everybody reminisce.
Yeah.
He had everybody reminisce. Brother, that's a good point. TLC. Go ahead and jump back in there, TLC. Go ahead and jump back in there. Because Ron just ate your lunch right there. Go ahead.
Ooh, I can't wait. Thank you. You mentioned something about the coaches didn't match Dion's intensity, and it's up to Dion and his vision.
No, to the players. The players got to match that.
That's yes. The coaches didn't match. The coaches didn't match Dion. Is basically what you're saying. But you know what? That's part of a job of a coach is to get your people on board. So when you look at Dion, especially like moving forward, you're thinking, okay, what's he going to do with his coaches? Well, if you know Dion's always said he's been, clean cut. He's never been like in trouble with the law, really. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs. He's very, clean when it comes to, he's always been that way. And then who is he going to hire for his coaching staff? He goes and gets Warren Sapp? The complete opposite? So now you're going to go into all these people's homes and you're going to say to the parents like, oh, I'm clean cut. I don't do drugs, anything like that. Oh, okay. Who's your defensive coordinator? Oh, I got Warren Sapp back here. Are you kidding me? That's not
TLC. TLC.
Even though Warren Sapp
TLC, do you believe in rehabilitation?
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a great defensive player, but I think that's going to be a disaster.
TLC, do you believe in rehabilitation?
I don't see.
Do you believe in rehabilitation?
No,
TLC.
I don't.
See, TLC, and I'm glad you said that because you're one of those people that because Dion invokes God a lot and all the scriptures and all the motivation and all of that. Warren Sapp, the scriptures say God could take a crooked stick and draw a straight line. Did that defensive line need help? Does the offensive line need help? Because the coaches that have left were responsible for the failures. Because here's the one thing you can't do. The one thing when you're a leader is everybody tell you to delegate. Well, when those people you delegated with failed, guess what they do when the results come in? They run. That's how I know Dion is successful. Because this year, you can't stay in your same role. I gave you an opportunity to fail. And a lot of y'all don't understand what Dion did. I'm giving y'all the opportunity to win now. This is going to be your results. What if they would have won and was playing in college football playoff? You think any of those coaches are going to be leaving? But Dion had to keep being Dion, and he delegated to his coaches. The defense got ran over. They couldn't stop the run. So who's left? Nick Williams, who's the defensive ends coach. Who else left today? The offensive line coach. Who went into the transfer portal? Defensive lineman, defense, and offensive lineman. Why? He's already told you during the middle of the season, I got to go get me some new dogs. TLC, I'm in the veterinary business. You know what happened when that dog start messing up the house? Guess what you got to do? You go put it down. You go put it down, TLC.
You got to give that dog some medicine and pay whatever it costs.
Well, yeah, which is why you don't have one, right? So TLC, I'm glad you brought up Warren Sapp. Dion said, my goal ain't NIL. My goal is to get you to the NFL. Can you imagine Deion Sanders and Warren Sapp coming into your house? Who gonna compete with that? You got a guy who can introduce you to the Lord and Savior, and you got a guy who can introduce Which side you want to be on? You want to be a Saint or a sinner? We got you in Colorado.
Oh,
You
Lord.
want to be a Saint or a sinner? Warren Sapp gonna show you how to get in them trenches, and then he gonna show you how to play football. Right? That's the whole point, TLC. That defensive line needed help. Warren Sapp went and got his degree. Once Warren Sapp got his degree, he could be a coach at a college team. That same thing Dion had to do. Dion couldn't be a coach at a college team till he went and got his degree. That's why he doesn't call Florida State he doesn't say he's a Florida State alumni. I think he went to a HBCU. I can't remember the name of the college. Y'all get down in the comments, correct me which one he went to. But that's the same thing I think Warren Sapp did. Got him an accelerated bachelor's degree so he could go coach. So TLC, this is why you know he's successful. Why is Warren Sapp coming? Because at the end of the day, what you saw was an execution problem. But if I delegate, if I delegate to you, TLC, and you fail, I got to replace you. Because Dion's job there is to facilitate. Everybody like, Dion can't coach. Dion can't coach. No, your job is to facilitate as the leader. Your job is to facilitate. Now, he chose some wrong coaches because they did not believe. Some people, look, let me tell you something, TLC. Some people came to make sure he didn't succeed. How do you know? They left when he didn't. Mission accomplished when he didn't succeed on the field. But he going to reload as soon. There's people begging him to come coach there. T.O. going to be on, how T.O. going to be on that coaching staff too. T.O. going to be on that coaching staff too. TLC, look, but TLC, why do you go play ball in college? Because you want to go to the NFL. It makes a difference when you got people who done been there. If he came and put me on the staff, how am I gonna help him get to the NFL? I can't, because I ain't been there. You can't go where you never been, right? And try to tell somebody else to get there. T.O., Warren Sapp, they had talked about Byron Leftwich coming. I don't know if that's coming. But when you start putting that pedigree around your TLC, it's about getting these kids to the next level. Just like Nick Saban. Nick Saban got a lot of people in the NFL. But Nick Saban can talk from a coaching perspective. He can't talk from a player perspective. And that's what makes Dion different. Go ahead and give me your rebuttal, bro.
Oh, but that's what you need. You need a coach to coach. That's why Nick Saban's
so
great.
You need a coach. Need a coach to facilitate. Nick Saban ain't coach. How much do you see Nick Saban talking on the headset?
You don't need a player to pretend to be
How much you see Nick Saban over there throwing up signs? You don't see Nick Saban over there. You don't see Nick Saban doing that.
He has a system in place. I'm telling
you. Agreed. Dion is
building
a system.
Warren Sapp is a bad idea. And who else did you say was coming over to the coach?
Terrell. No, what I'm saying is,
I don't know who.
Terrell Owens might be on the staff.
You better get you better get some coaches with some experience, because all you told me is problems.
TLC. He had Charles Kelly from Alabama as the defensive coordinator this past year. You look at the pedigree that these guys had. Pat Shurmur took over. Look, the guy Sean Lewis failed at his job and still got a head coaching job at San Diego State. The offensive coordinator got stripped of his duties. Dion is so good that the offensive coordinator got stripped of his duties mid-season, and he got a head coaching job at San Diego State. And you want to tell me this man is a failure? Are you kidding me? Sometimes, TLC, even your failures are successes in other environments. That's how good Dion is. That's how good he is. Jump in there, Rhonda. Let me know what you think.
All I know is anybody that was connected to
you know what that dude said on Passport Bros when you said that?
All I know is anybody who was connected to Dion this football season, even they're going to be successful wherever they go, because that's just the range of his, I'm gonna say anointing, for lack of a better word, because it doesn't even mean that you have to stay with him. Some people ain't made to stay. And so I think anybody who was connected to him, whether they were there for that 15 minutes of fame or whatever, or just went because of all the hype, wherever they go, they always will be able to say, I worked or coached under or whatever Deion Sanders did for them. And they will still be able to use that as a recruiting tool, no matter what happens. Because at the end of the day, they may not be there, but they know they still get the benefit of having worked for him.
Yes. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Darian Hagan left today to go follow Sean Lewis at San Diego State. Like, these guys are getting opportunities, even losing, but they couldn't stay at Colorado. Now, you can go to some other school that ain't going to get the attention because some of y'all ain't made for the spotlight. I just got to say it. Everybody ain't Michael. Some of y'all Tito and Jermaine. And what happens is, if I want to be like Michael, I got to prepare like Michael. If Dion is doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm on his staff, I got to do X, Y, and Z. I don't get to do something else. Like, man, nah, I'm my own man. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Yeah, you out. You out because you got to mirror what he does. You got to prepare like he prepares. You got to connect with the kids like he connects with the kids. You got to get the most out of people. Dion got these kids feeling like they can walk on water, then they meet you. Right? Because you ain't preparing like he preparing. Now, I wanted y'all to see this article. Primed for greatness. Primed for greatness. Humbled in defeat. Deion Sanders could be headed for bigger things. Right? Right? Look at this. First off, it starts off with, the Bible declares that God opposes the proud but shows favor to the humble. Deion Sanders is shaping up to be a prime example of that, pun intended. And for the University of Colorado's first-year football coach, that could ultimately be a good thing. Okay? Now, they go on talking about Dion. Right? Openly doubt my ability to lead this team to victory, and I will throw it in your face when I do. As the Buffaloes were 3-0 with wins over Nebraska and Colorado State and rose to 19 in the ranking, it appeared Coach Prime's crowing would only get worse. And then here's where TLC is. Then came Saturday in September when Colorado opened Pac-12 play against Oregon. Though humility has never been Sanders' strong suit, the Ducks made him wear it that day, tailoring it to just a 42-6 defeat. But what did he do? Sanders wore it with class. Look at what's happening. Thank the Lord for allowing this to transpire. It was a good old-fashioned butt kick, and there's no excuses, no nothing. Their coaches did a heck of a job and prepared their team well. Obviously, we didn't. And everybody know it was a losing streak from there. I want you to see that, TLC. Their coaches did a heck of a job and prepared their team well. Obviously, we didn't. Now,
Who's a part of that we?
Yeah. Again, TLC, one of the things that a lot of people, the people who are criticizing Dion, you got to understand, when you're a leader, the number one thing you got to do is give your people a chance to do the job. None of these people were prepared to do the job under a spotlight because they didn't believe what Dion said was going to transpire. And when that spotlight came on you, everybody's not made for the spotlight, TLC. That's what I'm saying. So we didn't prepare the kids once this spotlight was on us. What happened to Oregon? And Oregon was smart. Rhonda said it earlier in one of her comments. The coach at Oregon got smart. He didn't talk trash until it was right before the game. Because the other one started talking about Dion. Remember, Matt Rule, man, it's personal. Dude from Colorado State, my mama taught me to take my hat and glasses off when I talk to people. Right? TCU was opening day. We all watched it. And then the coaches got smart. You do not talk trash to Dion and give him bulletin board material. You shut him off at the knees once you started giving him credit. When they started talking good about him, TLC, you know how it is. Somebody give me a compliment and watch I lose all the fight in me. Give me a compliment. I'm gonna sit, man. You know, I ain't gonna bring it now. There, you know. But when you doubt me, see, and this is one of the things with minorities. When we get doubted, that's a motivation for us. But what happens if people start expecting it out of us? We get taught how to fight. We don't get taught how to manage. We always coming from a point of deficit. We are not coming from a point of abundance. We don't know how to react when things are going well. That's my whole point. Now, TLC, when you see this article, what do you think?
It sounds like to me what you're telling me is that other coaches adjusted, which is a key point of being a coach, is being able to adjust. And what I'm hearing from you is that Dion doesn't adjust. And
I didn't say that.
No, that's what
I said. Dion's coaches.
Like.
I said Dion's coaches didn't adjust.
It said we. The article. That's what I said. What's the article? Did the article say we?
No,
that means
everybody
that
know what.
That means
everybody know that we.
Hey,
no,
this is your
everybody
article.
know what we mean. Everybody know what we mean. We mean y'all. Hey, I ain't got no issue. I say we just because politically. No. Right.
So
what you think when you see the article?
I'm getting out of it.
What you think, Ron?
I mean, I could see that article, saying what it's saying, because if you're waiting for somebody to have a down moment, then this is just right for the picking, to be able to have an article like that. At the end of the day, Colorado surprised every team that they did beat this season. That will never change. That is what that season was. The hype that they bought out, making it look like the BET Awards on the sideline. watching the pregame show. Like, you cannot deny that people were tuned in to that. And yes, coaches had to adjust, because guess what they didn't have to do before Dion got to Colorado? They didn't have to change nothing with their game plan with the Buffaloes, because
They would lose.
they knew they were going to lose anyway. But then here go this man, then place his hands on this organization.
Well, what did he do, Rhonda? Repeat that again. Yes.
On this organization and breathe new life into the organization. Got their social media pages up, their gear, all that, like the school in general. And people were eating it up. And that's why I'm going to ride out with Dion till the wheels fall off. I don't care what he does at Colorado for the rest of his tenure there. He already made it successful just by doing that. And yeah, he didn't have to adjust, because guess who else was watching? Because I best believe, Torrance, if somebody was standing over you while you were doing your job, you would have a problem with that. You would want to have the space to be able to do your job and show that you do know what to do, and only get guidance when necessary. But you need your employer to trust what you do.
Say it again, Rhonda. Say it again, Rhonda.
You need your employer to trust what you do to show that
I'm glad you said that, because TLC sent me a meme yesterday, sent me a reel from Instagram the other day.
Okay.
I was going to put it up here. And they talked about my boss fired me on my job because he said I was on my phone too much. And you know, the dude was, of course, on his phone shooting a reel, and what happened? Has a wreck, right? The boss was over his shoulder, and the boss was like, man, you got to get off your phone. You got to stop being distracted. Mm-hmm. And see, some of y'all get in here and don't realize that when you get connected with somebody who has the light on them, you can't operate like that light ain't there. These coaches and players were not ready. Dion, when he said, "Do you believe now?" he wasn't talking to the media. The media was already there. Mm-hmm. The media was there. He was talking to the people inside the locker room. You're coaching these kids like they're going to lose. You're coaching these kids like we got 5 years to build this. No, we got to do an impact now. Why? The scriptures say faith is now. Right? So TLC, this is where I'm going with it. I ain't disputing what you're saying, but I want to switch to this article right here. How you telling me he'll fail you when Stephen A. Smith himself, Stephen A. Smith suggests unbeaten Florida State would have made CFP if coached by Deion Sanders. Come on, TLC. Now you see this title. TLC. What you thinking? TLC.
First of all, Florida State went undefeated this year. So you really can't, there's nothing else the coaching staff could have done for Florida State. I mean, they made those schedules years in advance. So that's a whole nother issue. I mean, Stephen A. Smith is wrong on that one.
Yes.
Stephen A. We love you over here, Stephen A.
We love you over here, Stephen A.
Stephen A. But come on now. Florida State was ranked number 4. They won their game and they still got kicked out. They were undefeated and got kicked out.
TLC, they weren't getting no ratings. TLC, the CFP is a ratings machine. They weren't getting any ratings. And guess what, TLC? You know why Stephen A. is saying it? Mike Norville was on the coach of Florida State was on the hot seat this year. He was on the hot seat this year. Why? Why did the fans want him fired? Because they wanted Dion. This is why Stephen A. Smith is saying it, TLC. You got to immerse yourself in it.
I will say this, because a lot of people think that the coach's biggest adversary is the other team's coach. But really, for every school, every head coach's adversary is the fan base. Because it's a fan for a reason. They're fanatics. Every team is crazy. At the beginning of next season, every team is going to think that their team is supposed to be going all the way. So I will give Dion credit. He is able to manage some of the fans as far as like keeping people believing him and following him. His sales are through the roof. So I'm not hating Dion. He's
TLC, what if the coach? What if the coach has his own? What if the coach has his own line? What if the coach has his own line in his bookstore? In every sporting facility. How is it not a success, TLC?
Oh, I'm saying Dion isn't a success because I'm grading Dion based on what Dion grades Dion. You can't tell me you're above average and you've only won 4 games.
He is above average. You talking about the Buffaloes?
No,
you talking about the Buffaloes?
You can't separate
I'm talking about Dion.
Ship. As long
yes,
as
you can.
Yes, you can.
TLC.
It's your ship.
TLC.
If you're at the helm of the ship, it's your ship.
I disagree with you, TLC. There's a reason why Colorado, a part of his contract was Prime can go on the side of this. I'm building my brand, and I'm going to build your team. Rhonda said it. Anything over 1 was a success. They had been losing. They had been losing TLC the whole time. He got the attention to Boulder. He has more. I said in the beginning. I said a while ago, Boulder need to give him another contract right now. Remember, the fans were calling for him at Michigan State. They wanted him at Texas A&M. Why are these recruits dropping? People said Dion is not going to be there after Shador graduates or finishes this year. They wanted him at Texas A&M, TLC, even when he was losing. Even when he was losing. I think Colorado better pay that man right now. We're going to play this real fast, TLC. I know you hadn't seen this. Hold on one second.
The people that you should be blaming most is TCU. TCU went into the national championship last year against Georgia and got beat down in bum rush, 65-7. We have learned that college sports, particularly college football, is a business. The reality is when you take that into consideration and Jordan Travis is out and you look at the way y'all struggled to beat Louisville 16-6, which wasn't the most impressive way to go out. What you have is a committee that looked at what transpired last year, took into account what we've been seeing from Alabama the last 11 weeks, understanding that they catapult, they closed the deal by beating the number 1 ranked team in the nation. By the way, the rating defensive.
All right, hold on. TLC, you see where Stephen A is going with it? You see where Stephen A is going with it, right? I got to stop it again.
I understand why they didn't put Florida State in the playoffs. I'm just saying there's no reason to have a ranking system. I mean, it's going to get fixed next year when they go to an 8-team season. Playoffs. I'm sorry, playoffs, because you will have the top team in the country somewhere in that 1 through 8. Even though team number 9 is going to complain, but still, the top 8 teams are going to be solid.
TLC, and I'm going to get Rhonda's thoughts on this. I bet if primetime Deion Sanders was the coach, they wouldn't have gotten left out. Smith said. Why do I bring him up? Because if primetime had an undefeated team, the sizzle he brings to the sport matters. We want to act like it doesn't matter, but it matters because it is a business. We're not here talking about Colorado's record. We here talking about the business impact. One of the first podcasts we did was, is Deion Sanders the new MLK the moment he got hired? We will own this regardless on if you think it's a successful failure. The impact he's having cannot be denied, right? Now, TLC, when you see Stephen A. Smith saying that, what are you thinking? Because, see, I ain't got to preach to Rhonda. Rhonda got her clarity. Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
I love Deion Sanders. I'm a fan of Deion Sanders. I don't deny the impact that he's had on college football. That's why I said he is an ambassador for college football. He brings that attention to the sport of college football. And he probably would have been. He might have been in because people want to see what Deion is doing and all that. But you ask me, do I think he had a successful year? I would say no. As a coach, no, I don't think he had a successful year as a coach.
Okay, see, and that's the difference. I think he had a splendid year. His son rose to the occasion. At one point, his son that was the quarterback was getting the most attention of any quarterback. Everybody thought because he was HBCU, he came from HBCU, he couldn't play. You look at what happened, and I'm gonna tell you like this: when that spotlight got bright, those other people that they brought on weren't ready. They came just to see what it would be like versus operating in a system that Dion had. Now, I want to read this real quick. Sanders' first year at Colorado brought unprecedented attention to a program that had largely been out of the spotlight since his 1990 national championship. Although the banged-up Buffaloes faded as the season drew to a close, the legendary former Florida State defensive back was named the Sportsman of the Year for his revitalization efforts. Similar coach Mike Norville, meanwhile, was named a finalist for the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award Tuesday. See that, TLC? Florida State is not relevant. They won, but they're not relevant because they don't understand the business. They want to play football. Dion is growing a brand. Dion, Rhonda, jump in there. Let me know what you're thinking.
Listen, I don't know who would want to, it's one thing to have the basics down, and it's something to be said about knowing the foundation of a sport, like crafting your skill to be as successful as you can be. Nobody wants to see a dry quarterback. Nobody wants to see a dry coach. Nobody wants to see a dry football program. Even Colorado recognized that before they hired Dion, knowing that they needed something to revitalize that program. So much to the point where they didn't even have enough money to get him there.
Mm-hmm.
But that was probably one of the best investments that school has ever made, despite the record of the Buffs, not Dion, despite the record of the Buffs. And to this day, if I get me a hand on Ain't Hard to Find Nike sweatshirt.
Oh, we going
Like,
right.
you know what I'm
We gonna
saying?
get
I still want to get the gear. Still gonna tune in next season to see what Dion
Oh
is
no, we
gonna
going to
do.
Boulder, Ronda. We going to Boulder.
Look, I read it. And
We
so
going
yeah,
to
so
Boulder.
no,
Just get ready.
I just think, nobody's going to follow somebody that's a wallflower. Ain't nobody got time for that. You need something, not in this day and age, with social media and all the
Yes.
things that come out, and where fans could post what they want on social media and things like that. And I love how his social media son did what he did.
Killing it.
I mean, I'm
Killing the
engaged with
game.
although I engage probably more with
Killing,
that than anything else, and that's a shame.
killing the game. I'm watching well off media videos every day. I'm on social media seeing what they posted every day.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell y'all like this, TLC, because we're gonna close it out with this one. Because I waited for this one at the end. How do I know he had a successful season? Deion Sanders and Tracy Edmond call off engagement. We have made this decision with love in our heart. No. This is how you know. This is how you know he had a successful season. Because at the end of the day, guys, when you see this, we said it on is Deion Sanders the next MLK. When you see this, Dion recognizes that the bar is even higher next year. Dion has to win. Because look at what TLC is saying. And that's why I was glad, because I knew which way TLC was going. Because TLC, when we did the MLK one, is Deion Sanders the new MLK? TLC bought up Nick Saban. Y'all go to TLC's page. He posted after Alabama beat Georgia. After Alabama beat Georgia, he posted it. Or either after they beat Auburn. TLC, even in a down year. And I said, look at this right here. I said, I know who he's talking to. Right? I said, I know who he's talking to. He knew we were going to be revisiting this. He's been building this case. But one of the reasons I know Dion had a successful season is because of this topic right here. Because everybody, look, 2012 announced the engagement in 2019. We talked about this in all the relationship podcasts. Environment changed. Work changed. Pressure changed. And this man lived up to it. And one of the things you're going to find is some people are in your life because they think it's the twilight time. Dion got thrust into the national stage. Dion handled it. But everybody in your life before that light come on ain't ready once it get bright. And I'm not saying that about Tracy Edmonds because she's successful. But she's successful quietly. Dion is successful and he's boisterous. Jump in there, TLC, because I sent this to both you and Ron. I want to hear what y'all think about this article.
I'm not sure about the breakup or anything that has to do with that. I mean, that's kind of their thing. But again, I think Dion is successful. I think people give Dion a little too much credit, like making him the sportsman of the year.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
He's successful. I love Dion. He's did a great job, I think, in Colorado overall. My personal opinion. But, I mean, like I said, I was judging him by his standards. So by his standards, I would say he was not a success. I definitely would not make him sportsman of the year. I don't know who in their right mind
See, why not?
voted for.
Rhonda just explained it to you this whole podcast. He changed the game.
Without a doubt, the sportsman of the year has got to be Jimbo Fisher. He got fired and got to keep $50 million. You get fired and get to keep all your money?
TLC, how can you have a business conversation about Jimbo, but you ain't trying to have that same conversation about the money Dion made Colorado? You rewarding the guy who got fired, thinking he won. Jimbo Fisher, TLC, will never coach again.
He don't have to. I bet you he does. I bet you he does, though. I bet you he does.
Nah.
Even if Jimbo coaches again, they still have to pay him.
Jimbo's success was tied to Jameis Winston. Jameis ain't won nothing since Jimbo. Jimbo ain't won nothing since Jameis. That's the whole point. The
whole football carousel. It's just a big carousel. Some other school will reach out to Jimbo. He'll be coaching again.
Oh yeah. St. Aug, Central, Morgan State.
There you go. Whatever.
I know it.
Whatever. Watch. Just watch.
Rhonda, when you saw this article, what did you think? If you had a chance to read it.
No, I did take a chance. I did get a chance to read it. It says a lot because one of the things that was said in there, you could tell that it was definitely a mutual thing. It sounds like because they both are busy in their own right. But I don't even know where they lived before. I don't know if they were in Texas, and I know Texas to Colorado. I'm sure that was a strain
That's a guess. Yes.
on any type of relationship because to be in a relationship, you need to see the person. Be with the person to do whatever arrangements they set for their relationship. But I'm not surprised. I was sad, but I wasn't surprised because business owners recognize there's a goal to be made. And there's no need to carry this thing along if we don't have to. If we could end it amicably and keep it moving, we both pursue our goals, hit our goals, do what we need to do. Because Dion needs to be there full time in Colorado if he's trying to make the things happen that he wants.
Gotta be there. Run it. Gotta be there. Because just what TLC is saying. What TLC is saying is valid. Dion hears it. And guess what? Everybody around him got to know, I can't do it how I did this year. We got to now translate this. Dion had a successful year. Prime is coming out on video. The second season. He did everything he was supposed to do. He delivered. But now he knows it has to translate on the field. Why? And I wanted y'all to see this. He responded when Tracy Edmonds did it. Love you, Tracy. You've been a true blessing to me. I appreciate the times we shared and the laughs we've had. You are an amazing woman and a tremendous mother. God bless you with every endeavor and every step you take. You are her, Tracy Mack. Now, the number one thing I'm trying to say to you, TLC, how do I know Dion is successful? This person, Tracy Edmonds, who has been with Babyface, very successful, by the way, very successful, movie producer, all that, very successful. She recognizes what's happening here. And I'm going to tell y'all, this is just my, for entertainment purposes only. I think this relationship was over the moment Shador was playing lights out those first three games. The moment Shiloh was just knocking heads off, because not only did the cameras realize that these boys had a good father, guess what else they realized? The mother is just as supportive. And so who's getting just as much attention now? Both the mother, Pilar, was at the games, and now Dion is here. The boys love their mama, and Shalimar is there too, playing basketball. Did y'all see when Dion posted of his daughter making that 3-pointer? And for the first time I noticed something I hadn't noticed in the comment. Pilar responded under Dion's post.
Oh.
And I said, oh my God. And what's happening, TLC, this is what I'm telling you is a success. Because Dion got to get Shador drafted top overall. But people are missing it. He's also got to get Shiloh drafted. TLC, we can agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Got to get his sons drafted, right? The only reason he took this job was because of his boys. Okay? The only reason he took this job was because of his boys. Now, I'm saying that to you. Go ahead.
They're going to get drafted. They'll probably go for. They're absolutely probably going to go first round. But I don't know about number one pick. But I don't think you have to be the number one pick. A lot of times, number one doesn't always
TLC
filter out. So
did you watch the Cowboy game? Did you watch the Cowboy Seahawks game? Did you watch the Cowboy Seahawks game? TLC, did you watch it? Who was on the sideline with Jerry? Who was on the sideline with Jerry Jones? What did Jerry Jones tell Dion about Shador? What did he tell him?
What did he say?
You got the top pick on your hands. Call Shador the top pick. You know Jerry Jones now. Do I need to put up the picture of my boy?
No.
He said you got. He said you got the top pick on your hand. I wanted y'all to see this though, because this ties into our relationship thing. The couple navigated being long distance throughout their relationship. Ronnie, you were bringing it up. Doing a joint interview with people. Sanders, who has been married twice, reasoned that he and Edmonds are at the age and stage where I don't think neither of us need a lot. Though retired athletes share, he and Edmonds don't regularly call or text throughout the day in order to give each other the space to build their respective careers. Dude, y'all better go back and listen to some of these podcasts we had on relationships. Because Dion just pretty much said the same thing, right? You better recognize Tracy is a go-getter. She is that. I get up early and she knows I'm up working out and I'm ready to go get it. It's a blessing, but we understand each other because we're busy in our own right now. Mm-hmm. What does it tell you? If I tell you I get up early, what does it mean she doing, TLC?
She works late and she gets up late.
She gets up late. See, this is why now all of a sudden when you full throttle at night and I ain't got no energy, Dion got to deliver, TLC. That's why I knew which way you were coming. And I really appreciate the way you bought it tonight, tying it to Colorado. Dion hears it. Because you got people who hate that he's built this individual brand. This was a successful season, Sportsman of the Year. They were saying that if they would have won that last game, somebody was going to get him a bowl opportunity. They were going to drop the 6-game minimum if he just would have won 5 games because they knew everybody would have showed up and watched that game. This TLC, this thing is crazy. Dion has to get his sons drafted. Dion has to win and play in at least a New Year's Bowl game next year, if not the college football. With it going to 8 teams or 12 teams or how many it's going to, Dion got to be in the college football playoff now.
Mm-hmm.
He got to be in the college football. Now the Colorado Buffaloes matter. The first year, Colorado was just happy that the attention was there. Like Rhonda said, you got to be able to get the money to be able to pay the man. We're going to let him do whatever he need to do this year. We're going to let him do whatever he need to do this year. I think Dion is gone in a year or two. That's why these recruits are dropping off. I think Dion should leave Colorado. I think Dion is going to be at Texas, or Dion is going to be at some school, whether it be Texas, Florida. He's going to be at a major school, because if Colorado don't write a check to keep him there, why would he stay? Because eventually Boulder ain't going to be big enough to hold him. And let me tell y'all this. I know he was successful because he had to make a choice to leave a woman he'd been with since 2012. He had to make a choice. And let me tell you this. You don't want to leave that woman you ain't letting no ugly woman go. Right? That's a difference. This lady is fine. And what I'm trying to tell you, TLC, I know it was a success because he recognizes that Dion had a successful season. Now I got to get Colorado to be successful. I got to get Colorado to be successful. So that's why I wanted to share these. I wanted to share these articles with you guys. I want to share these articles with you guys because technically Dion, the brand, Prime, the brand, awesome season. His son, Deion Sanders Jr. I watched, man, as that dude had like 70,000 followers on YouTube, and now he up almost at 500,000. You just watched it. Everybody's tuning in. Got a whole team working for him, independently of Colorado. Got people calling him, asking him how to do this. Man, Shador, most famous quarterback, overtook Caleb Williams from USC. Everybody wanted to see him play. Flash and roll, he's driving Cullinan. Like you watch it, Shiloh, all these things, the daughters, all these things, guys. Everybody on the sideline, surf swagging. He bought, like Rhonda said, they bought the BET Awards to Boulder. But now you got to win, TLC. When we do this podcast next year, now you're right. If the Buffs are 4-8, yeah, Dion might be getting run out of Boulder. He might be getting run out of Boulder. TLC, give me your closing thoughts for the night, brother.
Well, my closing thoughts for tonight are that I am a Deion Sanders fan. By my standards, he had a successful year, but I'm judging Dion by his standards and according to his standards because he thinks he has higher standards than most. He said he doesn't see his standards he doesn't see his goal as being successful this year. So based on that, I would say he's not successful this year, but he's did a lot for college football. And I enjoyed watching him, and I enjoyed watching the team and keeping up with him. And, I'm going to really be interested in that Warren Sapp situation and how that plays out. I can't, you know what? I'm ready for next year to start, really, just so I can see how it turns
everybody
out.
is.
So,
Everybody is. Everybody is. Rhonda, what's your closing thought for the night?
Team Dion all the way. I don't care what he does. I'm here for it.
Why you sounding like Bubba Dub over there?
I don't care what he does. I like him too. I don't care what he does. I'm here for it. Yes. Did he see what he was working with, and now he knows which way he needs to go, or at least have a better plan to like you said, to make Colorado be successful. Because I really believe wherever he steps, he's going to be successful as a person. But to make the team successful, I know he's going to make the necessary adjustments now and go hire the go-getters that don't mind doing what he does to get the job done. And I'm looking forward to the new season too. And I don't ever say that about college football, but I am looking forward to the next season and see how all this stuff is going to turn out. But I just know wherever he goes, he's going to bring success with him wherever he goes. Not perfect, but he's going to bring success. Back to
And
you, JB.
I'm glad y'all said that. My closing thought is pretty simple. When I see people leaving, and when you look up, a lot of people were in your life. A lot of people were in your life because they wanted to ride a coattail. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to ride a coattail. And I'm not saying anything negative about these people, but you got to recognize who's with you and who's riding a coattail. And sometimes when that coat starts getting attacked, everybody ain't meant to still hang on. Okay, and again, when you are getting attacked, you need people in your corner. Okay, when I see these people leaving, when I see these recruits, you weren't in it anyway. Again, like I said, if you were not in it from the beginning, you didn't believe in the beginning, you left because now it's going to be real work. And now you know, if you followed Well Off Media, you knew who was leaving. Like this, if you watched the Well Off Media videos on YouTube, you knew who was leaving. You knew who wasn't dialed in. You knew the guys who hated Prime was getting the attention, and they wasn't. And there's a lot of people in people's lives telling these guys who are connected to Coach Prime to disconnect from him. That's how I know he was successful, because you got people in your life telling you to disconnect from him. Why? If y'all keep growing, who's going to be left out? And I guarantee you, Tracy Edmonds didn't walk away because Tracy Edmonds wanted to walk away. Somebody in her life told her to walk away. Girl, he getting all this shine. Why he ain't bringing up you? Why this? Why that? And after a while, you give in. Same thing with these coaches. Man, why he getting all that? Why you ain't got your name on some Colorado gear? Why y'all got to wear that Prime stuff and all that kind of stuff? That's my closing argument, guys. When you get successful, guys, the enemies are inside the camp, not outside of it. The outside loving Dion. Everybody who was inside the camp walking away. It's the inside. That's why we did a podcast called How to Recover from Being Stabbed in the Back. It wasn't nobody he don't know. The people who walking away are the people who he had a personal relationship with. GMA said, you went 4-8, man, come see us. These other people walking away. And that's why I know he's successful. What did Dion say in American Gangster? Frank Lucas said it. Success has enemies. They just didn't tell you that it's the people that you know. And man, y'all know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast, man. I need y'all to do me a favor. Get down in the description, man. Get the merch. Support the channel. Get down in the comment section. Let us know what y'all think about whether Dion's first season was a success and that kind of thing. All of our information is in there. Make sure, man, you support the channel. Turn on that bell for notifications. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Mash that subscribe button. Share it with a family or friend. TLC, let them know where they can find you on the socials again.
I'm at Instagram at TLClay1. I'm at Patreon, The Joke I Didn't Tell.
Appreciate you being on, Brother Ron, and let them know where they can find you on the socials again.
You can find me on IG at RMBLMBT. Y'all support the local. If you're in Tampa,
yes, it is, man. She flying the colors.
Support the local.
She flying the colors, y'all. Yes, y'all flying. She flying the colors. She flying the colors, man. And until next time, we gonna holler. Yeah.
It's your boy JB, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Like and subscribe to.